He was 14 years old when James Charles was asking him to send him inappropriate pictures. 14 years old. So Ethan Rhett is speaking out again about what happened with him and James Charles, and this time he's showing proof. So in 2020, Ethan Rhett was only 14 years old when suddenly his TikTok blew up. Like he was living a teenager's fantasy, you know? And then James Charles, somebody with a huge following, sent him a message and he was like really starstruck. So at first it was kind of friendly. Then he kind of started getting flirty. I mean, he sent him this picture saying 4 more years. So he knew he was 14. Another instance is where James posted a video of him doing somebody's makeup. And then Ethan said, hey, you know, you should put makeup on me. We can do a collaboration. And then James sends him this.
I hate manually progressive makeup.
And then this part of the story, I'm going to let Ethan tell you.
He asked me what my age was, and I told him I was 14 years old, and he told me I was very young. And I said, yeah, and he said, add me on Snapchat because I feel more comfortable talking on there. And so I said, okay, like, let's do it, like, bet. And he was asking me to send nudes, and he kept wanting me to go to LA, and he kept sending me.
This is from when, you know, Ethan spoke out about it at first in 2020. You know, he told James, I'm not interested, you know, but James kept going. The messages didn't stop and it made him more uncomfortable. And that's when he decided to speak out in 2020. Once he shared what happened, you know, everything exploded on social media. People were pointing out that it wasn't the first time that James has been accused of this. James did do a video and he admitted to having inappropriate conversations, but he lied and he said that he didn't know these kids had lied about his age, which is a lie because what does 4 more years mean? And then supposedly James realized that, you know, it was his job as an adult in the situation to double check, you know, their age. This time, you know, because it's not the first time that Ethan speaks out. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time. He spoke out in 2020. He spoke out a few months ago. And this time he's showing proof in the form of emails that he had with his lawyer. He's showing that he loaded a bunch of the messages and stuff that he still had into a Google Drive. You know, he was talking with law enforcement. But Ethan is saying that when he spoke out in 2020, he started getting doxxed. People were sending him pictures of his own house. He started getting harassed. And, you know, it was a lot for him. He was 14. And then, you know, yeah, he spoke out with lawyers and law enforcement and stuff. But he was being pushed to do it, which I understand because he was 14. He should have been given a little bit more grace. So he said he shut down completely. And once his lawyer realized he shut down, he's like, okay, well, let's try and get money from James Charles. And then he shut down again because he's like, okay, this is not about the money. And Ethan does give the advice that if you go through something, don't run to social media with it because it just makes it a lot worse. And he gets emotional and saying that people haven't really believed him. And it does make me sad that, you know, he's still triggered. He says that when he sees pictures of James Charles or James Charles pops up, like you know, it really gets him, it really triggers him. And I am glad that he is brave enough to speak out, even though it's really hard for him to keep, you know, warning people that James Charles is a pedophile. James Charles has messaged a lot of minors. And all this, I'm still shocked that he still has a platform. He's still a beauty influencer, you know, he's still getting brand deals and all this stuff. You know, it seems like in this world and in this country, pedophiles, they're not being held accountable for.
I'm not physically attracted to older guys, which sucks. Like I would date like the absolute youngest, like 18, 19 that looks a little bit older, or like 24 that like has a young personality.
Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think that he's ever going to be held accountable? Do you think Ethan will ever get justice for what he went through? Let me know what you think. And of course, I'll continue to keep you guys updated with this. And of course, don't forget to like my video, share it, follow me for more true crime, story time, and cheese.